Hi everybody, this is Tony, and today I thought we'd do something a little bit different to what I normally do. We're going to leave G1 behind for this review, and with the new Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon film coming out at the end of this month, I thought I'd do a Dark of the Moon figure. So I was in the shop the other day, just looking around to see what was about. And I did see another review of this guy from Optibotoma, so I did know about this, and I liked his review of it. And then I saw this on the shelf, and I just thought, I've got to have that, can't leave that there. So we have in front of us Dark of the Moon Megatron. Now, he is, from what I can tell, I mean, there's nothing on Wikipedia about him yet because the film hasn't been out. I can't tell you exactly what type of vehicle this is, but it looks to me like a military tanker, fuel tanker. Obviously straight away you can see we've got the bend right there in the middle. It's a nice little feature that they didn't have to put on, but the fact they have makes that even better. Obviously it's not loose, it's quite tight. That doesn't come off, that just stays there on the back. I say military because it's obviously got the sort of deserty type colours and this sort of camouflage material on the back, which I have seen some military, they do put these sort of things on tank, these kind of like drape things that they just put over them. I'm not sure whether that's just to keep their sand off the vehicle or whether it's for some sort of camouflage, but that's on there as well. And what that also does is it hides the fact that you can see that there's the tanker there where the fuel would go. If we take this off, you can actually see it doesn't go back all the way, it stops about there, and that's because the mechanics of this back piece are used in the robot form. But obviously when you put that on, it does give the illusion that the tanker goes all the way to the back. Lovely vehicle mode, and it's a first for a Megatron, any Megatron I think, to have a land mode. Is that right? No, I think the G2 Megatron, wasn't that a green tank? I think it was, yeah. So but anyway, it's still rare for Megatron to have a land form of any kind, especially an Earth land vehicle. Okay, that's just the other side of it there, same sort of thing. Very much like, it looks like sort of an upgrade of G1 Onslaught. In fact, it's so large, can't even get him on the camera there. Okay, so take off that, and you could put a tanker on the back of that, I suppose. Bit of an upgrade there for Onslaught, really. They could have got away with calling that Onslaught if it wasn't Megatron, really. In fact, when I first saw that, before I found out that it was a Megatron, I actually thought he was going to be called Onslaught, and it was like an maybe we'd see Bruticus in the film, but never mind. This is Megatron, as I've said. Let's go ahead with the transformation. As far as these things go, for this line anyway, they're reasonably quite simple. And when I say simple, I don't mean like just pull apart, flip over, pull that out and it's done. I'm talking simple in terms of the figures from the last film. I'm talking about people like Mudflap, ridiculous thing to transform. Talking Skids, another ridiculous thing to transform. Great toys, great models when you've got them changed, but actually they're absolutely no fun to transform at all. Another really crap one. Don't even know why I've still got this. I absolutely hate it. Ridiculous thing to transform. And one of my favourite sort of car modes of any transformer of all time was this guy, which was Sideways. Love his car mode. Supposed to be an unofficial Audi R8. Look under there, it's an absolutely ridiculous thing to transform. You basically pull it apart and you've got all these panels and bits everywhere, and it was the same with all the cars from the Revenge of the Fallen toy line. Absolutely ridiculous things to transform. Not so with this. Now, I've not seen any toys from any of the other figures from this line, but transforming this is relatively simple, so let's get on and show you how to do it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this thing at the back here. It's just made of rubber, that's all it is. That covers up the back. As you can see, another little piece in there. This comes into play in the robot mode. So we're just going to put that to the side for 1 minute. Now one thing you're going to hear a lot of, and that you're going to see a lot of, you're going to hear people talking about with regards to this toy line. I should mention, by the way, this is a Voyager class size. We're going to take this middle piece off here. Now already you're starting to think, oh, here we go. If we're going back to G1 now, you've got to take bits off and put them on. And yes, indeed you do. But like I say, this comes into place later on. So does this. This is going to be his Mech-Tech weapon. You're going to hear and see those words a lot on this toy line, Mech-Tech. That's the latest sort of gimmick, if you like. And what we're going to do under here, you can see this little black peg. We're going to pull that round like that. Okay, and that little hole there. Now that is going to become his fusion cannon. That's going to fit on him when he's in robot mode. But the Mech-Tech gimmick here is you just hold on to this little black thing. You've got this ladder here, and when you push it, you've got this little thing that happens, this kind of little claw that comes out. If I do it slowly so you can see what happens. There, basically all it does is it just pushes these bits out and kind of fires this forward like a kind of claw. Now with the Voyager class figures, we're going to take that, turn that ladder sideways just like that, and that locks it into place. Now I understand the smaller versions, or what's the size under this? Is it deluxe? I think it is. I'm not too up on all this size business. I think the deluxe classes that have these weapons will not lock into place like that from what I've seen, but the Voyager classes do. Alright, so I'll just undo that, put that to one side again, and let's get to transforming this. Okay, so we're going to start with the back. Now you can see that there's this bit missing here, and that's because these bits are going to form the feet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to separate this back piece. I'll show you it there. That just unclips, okay, and then we're just going to put these, that hinge will join like that. Let's just unclip the side, push that there. Okay, just leave them open for a minute, because the next thing is to take these sections here, oops, hold on to that, and pull them away from the tanker and fold them all the way around like that. Okay, once they're there, then these bits can, oh no, sorry, made a mistake. Next thing to do, once they're down, is to take the tanker section, grip hold there, and move this whole section like that, and push down. You can hear that click in. Once those are there, then we can close up these, and they'll stay in on the side like that. And just clip them into the sides. Done. Okay, now the next thing is we need to split them. Okay, you can split it right from the start before you do any of that, and then sort out the leg arrangement afterwards, but I prefer to do it like that and then split the legs afterwards once they're done. Alright, so the first thing we've got to do before we can do that, you'll notice on the side here you've got this little place where you can put your thumb. I'm just going to get hold of that. Once I get hold of it, there we go, like that, and swing that round. That attaches the back section to the front. That all keeps it nice and tight. So if I turn it around like that, you can see there's another one on that side. Right, we just need to unclip that, push it to the side, and then these wheels here we just push in at a 45-degree angle, so they just tuck away like that. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can now split this whole assembly. Like I say, you can split it right from the start, but it means you've got to transform each of the legs separately. I've not got that in right. There we go, that's it. Alright, now once those are split, you can now, I'll pull this a bit closer to the camera, sort of pull them out like that. So we're just extending the legs here. Okay, that reveals this bit here, which just comes up, clips into that hole, like that. Stand up, not quite there yet, because all we need to do now is rotate these 180, like that, and there is a bottom half, the waist and the legs formed. So I'll do the top half next. Just move the camera first. Okay, so the top half then, a little bit more complicated, but as I said, it is doable. It's a lot more simpler than the range from the last movie. So first thing what we're going to do is, you can look under here, you can see these are going to be his arms on the side. What we're going to do is just fold these out like that. You can see the wheel arch here is going to be split. So we're just going to do that just to separate the arms away. Obviously that little flap has gone away from there now because it's part of the legs. So it allows us to do this. So there are different ways and points at which you can do various bits of these. I'm showing you what I think, at least, is the easiest way. Alright, this is how I find it easiest. Right, the next thing is to take the smokestacks, and the whole assembly goes like that. Right, so once we've got that, now we can rotate 180 like that. Okay, so now that the front of the arms are level with the legs. But now it comes a kind of an awkward bit, but like I said, it's all very doable. You just got to be careful, that's all. What we're going to do is open up this like that. Okay, you can see the top of his head in there. So obviously the next step is to separate the bonnet, or the hood if you're in the States. So we need to kind of get in there, push those two little grey bits up. Come on, away you come. Come in. There we go, sorry about that, I had a little bit of trouble, that was a little bit stiff. So basically what's happening is you need to pull this sort of bottom section away like that. Once that's done and this is all lifted away from here, that will allow you to separate the arms. So move that forward a bit. There we go, that's up. Right, once that's done now, we can split these apart. Okay, there, you saw that split there? That's because it's a little bit awkward because that front bit now goes down there out of the way. So when you're transforming it back, it's awkward because it has to come up there and then you fold those sort of underneath it. Anyway, that's done. Okay, so we split that whole section apart now, and now you can see that's revealed his head in there. Right, so now all we've got to do, that's him transform. We've just got to tidy all this up now. That will now allow this head section to tilt forward like that. Okay, now this whole grille section here kind of, move the arms down, folds up like that. Just pegs up there, and that will hold the head in place, close this back up. Right, so now we've just got to tidy up the arms, swing those around like that, pull out the hands, and there we go. This section here, this black sort of the grille section at the front, that turns this way, and you can see it's got a little sort of a hook on the end of it. That will go into that port there on the shoulder, so you just push it in there, pull it back, and that will hold that in place. And we just do again now with the other side. There we go, pull out his arm, and that is Megatron transformed. There we go. It's not bad, is it? Like I say, much simpler than the line from the last film. Much easier. Okay, you can see he's got all the usual articulation. His wrist will bend in and out like that. The fingers don't, unfortunately. We'll bend at the elbow. The arm will go 360 all the way around within the constraints of that thing, obviously. He's got kind of a shoulder movement there. Head is a 360. Is it? Yes, it is. That will go all the way around. Now legs will go forward, but not all the way. That's as far as they'll go because they're restricted by this. Knee joints, no ankle joints. That is solid, but you can kind of put them in some poses because the knee does bend this way as well. Right, so there's all sorts you can do there. Really good figure. It's the sort of thing as well, if you drop it, it's not going to break because these things were designed to have bits pop off and you could just snap them back on. But one thing I've forgotten, this grill piece at the front here, I'm meant to separate and put an angle like that, just to give it something, just so it doesn't look so square, I suppose. Alright, now I'm going to show you a close-up of his face in just a second, but first of all what we're going to do, we're going to get his mech tech weapon, or his fusion cannon, and you can see there's a few points there. He's got one on the side there, another one on the side there, and when he's in vehicle mode, in fact you can indeed, you see there's one on the foot there. You can attach this into any of the what they call the Mech-Tech ports, and that's not going to go in there. And you can attach this with any other toy. You can combine other Mech-Tech weapons with it. I think it's a bit of a stupid gimmick really, but you know what it's like. Every time they bring out something new now, it's got to have some sort of silly gimmick with it. But anyway, that's his fusion cannon. Just to emphasize the point again, it will do that little extension thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it in, and I'm going to plug it into his right arm because that's where his fusion cannon should go. And there we go. That's Megatron in robot form. Now I'm just going to show you his face really close up because that is where this rubber bit comes in. Okay, so we're looking at his head, and you can see there, nice light piping on the back of it. The whole of the back of his head is light piping. Obviously I haven't got the right light to be able to show you it properly, but it comes through very nice when you do look at it. Now on the other side of his face, you notice at the end of the, remember at the end of the Revenge of the Fallen film, Megatron was damaged quite severely by Optimus Prime, and although he has changed his alt form now, he still bears the scars of that battle. And you can see the right side of his face there shows all the injuries he sustained in his last battle with Optimus Prime. They've kept that on him. Now that's quite a nice feature, I think. It kind of tells a story. Okay, so there you see his ordinary side, and there you see his damaged half. Okay, that is not a fault of the toy. It is deliberately designed like that, and that is now where this next bit comes into play. Okay, so we have that which sat on the back of the tanker. And if we look under here, we can see another piece, alright, which is on a little swivel thing, which covers that whole lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing that around. Swing that right around like that. Obviously it does come off, but to keep it on so it's all one piece, and that reveals that hole there, which reveals this. Now, any prizes for guessing what happens with this? I think this is quite ingenious, really. Very good. This is going to cover his left arm and the bad half of his face. Now the thing is, it's going to restrict his arm movement. That's the only problem with this. But obviously I'll keep all mine for display purposes, no other reason. So that hole there has opened up there so that we can put this over his shoulder. Like that, that covers, so that can come through like that. And now the head bit is a little bit more difficult. Okay, so we've got it up to here. You can see that's wanting to come off there. Well, it's still attached. It's better if you keep them attached. Now what we're going to do is, you see this little bit on the side here, that is going to go into, where am I pointing at? Right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is push this down into there. Once I've got it there, I'm going to push that down, and that should hold this in place. And in you go. Right, it's there now. Once it's there, you kind of have to fiddle with it just a little bit. Oh, it's not in, it's come out. There we go. Now it's in. Right. And we just have to kind of fiddle with this until we get something that's just about right. Okay, I think we have it. And there, that's it. Now you can see where that comes in. It sort of hides his shame, if you will, his battle scars from the last film, and that will obviously go down his left arm as well, which completely leaves the right arm free. But I think that's a really good addition. So there you can see him complete now with his fusion cannon and his cape, if you will. I think he looks very good, and I can't wait to see him in the film when it comes out. But that is a really good idea. I do like that. So I'm just going to quickly change him back into his tanker form for you. Okay, so first thing to do is take this stuff off. Right, you come, Megatron, there you go. take off the fusion cannon. Obviously these will go back on in a bit. So again, I suggest starting with the top half, get that done first. So the first thing we've got to do is we now have to pull out all these bits. So let's just put those back in. Now that has to come out of there. You can see it's starting to come loose. There it goes. Okay, and then we want that out there. Tilt this thing back here, and that will allow the head to go back. Okay, now this all comes up to here just for the minute, because what we're going to do is detach these. Okay, swing those around there. Right, that's where they need to be, that's where they're going to meet. Same with that side. Okay, these come up there and up there. And around the side you can see what's going to happen there. That's going to join up to there. Fold in the hand. Okay, and then put that to the back. Alright, the same there. So let's fold this there, let's fold this hand in. This all comes together like that. Okay, so that's where we need those to be. Now we just bring the whole thing, whoops, keep the head back there. Bring these two together like that, so you can see what's happening there. Right. Now this is where it's a little bit tricky, because you have to kind of marry these parts up with that in there at the same time. Okay, and then once that's together, then all this will clip together. Let's do that now. There we go. Clip those in like that. And that's it, and then just pull this bit down so that those two bits meet in there. There we go. Alright, now just close the roof like that, pull the smokestacks out. Oops, no, sorry, forgot. Before we do that, let's rotate that. Okay, then they'll go back, there we go. And then these bits will just go into there and into there, like that. It won't marry up quite just right yet until we've done the rest of it. Well, that's just about the gist of it. Now we do the easy bit at the back. Okay, so like I said, we've got the legs now. And the first thing to do is rotate the knees 180 like that, because that's where we want the wheels, obviously. Now this piece here unclips, folds all the way down there like that. And then once that's there, we can push these back in, there and there, and then just clip all this together. There we go. We can now squeeze that together now. There it is. Okay, so we're now back with this. We can put these flaps now all the way to there, and that meets in there like that. Pull the wheels out. Alright, and then the same again on the other side. Okay, you can see his arm's not quite in properly. There we go. Okay, once that's all done, you can push this bit out. Okay, use it to grab onto the front, pull the wheel out. Alright, so that's that done there. Well, that's still not quite in, is it? Oh, there we go. Lovely. Okay, so now we're just left with the back. So again, what we're going to do is unclip these side wheels there, and then take this whole section, lift that up. We'll see the knee joints come into effect here. It's a little bit tricky to get this. Okay, so that needs to sit there like that. Now we retake our mech tech weapon, whatever you want to call it. Ladder goes at this end. We can now clip that in. That'll tilt back just a little bit. Oh, sorry, nearly forgot. The little black peg. Fold it under. Alright, otherwise it won't fit. Push that in. There we go. And that meets up nice and tight there. Now we've just got the feet. Fold them all the way back to there like that. And now we can indeed take these and push them back there so that it meets at the back, clip in nicely. Okay, so that's the vehicle transformed back. Now the only thing we have left to do is obviously these were the two cloak bits, the bit for the left arm and the bit for his head, and join together like that. There we go. Right, that's how it was. All we're doing, we're just going to cover up that hole with this headpiece, just swing it round like that. And there we go, and that makes that, and all you do is just put it on top. Nothing sits there, nothing stays there, there's nothing there to tell you that there's nothing to tie it onto, it just sort of stays there like that. Incidentally, I should point out, on the roof of the cab here, this is a little spring-loaded slot here, and you can indeed, if you want to, deploy the MechTech weapon, like that. Okay, so we've got it open, so let's lock it. You can, with that little black port, push it on the top there, and that will hold the MechTech weapon. It doesn't go in very tight, though, I must admit. It's a little bit fiddly, but it will go there. It is designed for it. But I'm damned if I can get it to go in there. I'm not going to do it, I'll just leave it. You know what the joints are like on these things, so I'm just going to fold that back. But it is designed to go in there. It will go in if I force it, but I'm not going to force it. So that's it. It's as quick and as simple as that, really. I didn't want to spend too long on this review, but this is one that you don't have to spend an absolute lifetime transforming like you had to with the line from the last film. Again, let's just re-emphasize the point. There we go. Okay, very nice tanker mode. I do like that a lot. And if the other Dark of the Moon figures are as good as this one, then I'll certainly be buying some more. Okay, so I'll just leave it for there for now, guys. Hope you like this review. Looking forward to Dark of the Moon at the end of June, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.